Hello everyone, it is Sherry from Sherry's Painting. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do press subscribe. You'll be notified of any new videos that I may be doing in the future if you want to paint along with me. I love when people paint because some people just don't think they can, and truly, anyone can paint. And you just got to give yourself a little bit of time and a little bit of practice, and anyone can do it. I was not a painter. I was not an artist in any way, shape, or the form. And you know, I practiced, and now I love it, and I can't go without it. So I created some watercolor journals back in April. I've always journaled, but I created these watercolor journals because I wanted to start expressing myself with more color. So I hope you join me today in doing this dolphin. We get them out here, out in Vancouver Island in BC. I love the water animals that we get out here. I did do an otter a couple of days ago. So if you want to have a look at that, I can put the link in the description box, as well as if you wanted to have a look at my watercolor journal that I did as a first post. I will put a link for that in the description box as well, so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So I think without further ado, we're going to start this little fella. He is just peeking up out of the water. That's how I'm going to paint him. And let's get going. So we're going to do a rough sketch first. I have had some people say that I'm not pressing hard enough with my pencil. So I promise I will do that today. So we're just going to put a little dot here, and we're going to draw a little... it's like a curvy line, okay? And it's just like that. It's just a little curvy line, just like that. And then what we're going to do from there is, we're going to make a little nose that comes out and juts out about right there. And then the nose comes down and it goes in. Whoops, it's a little pointed, but I might have to fix that. But again, we're going to draw the other part of his nose, and it's going to come out this way, okay? So I'm just going to go back in because I feel like I may have made that a bit too thick and not quite long enough. So let's try and fix that up for everybody. And then that bottom piece just comes right out there and up around. And then he comes down here and like that. And I do not claim to be, you know, the best drawer in the world. I just try and look at things in shapes, and it tends to help me when I'm sketching out my piece, because then I can sort of see where to place things. So, and we'll get into that a little more. So there's our little guy. That's pretty simple. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in his eye. So his mouth kind of curls up at the end here too, you guys. So that might be a bit too far there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put his eye in, and his eye is going to be right about here. And it's like an almond shape or an oval shape. He has a little bit of skin here. So this is going to come out just a tiny bit here, and then it's going to go in there, okay? And then you can actually see the start of his flipper here too. So we're going to add that in. And then the rest is going to be water. So the water is going to go around like this, okay? Because generally he's going to create some sort of disturbance in that water. So that's what I'm going to put in there for now. And then the bottom is also going to have a little bit of a wave to it at the bottom of his head there. So pretty much that's it for the sketch. I hope you guys can see that. Then what we're going to do next is you know what? I'm sorry. I might go back in here and make that a little bit longer in there. Sorry, guys. I'm being a perfectionist, and I shouldn't, because normally I'm not, but I feel like I need to make that a little bit longer there. And then if I make that a little bit longer, I have to make these a little bit longer too. No, I think we're good there. Okay, so there you go. That's the initial sketch, pretty simple. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start coloring with the watercolor crayons. With these crayons, they're really lovely because once you add the water to them, they just, you know, they come to life. So we want to start with the lightest first and then work our way to the darkest when we're actually putting in these areas on the dolphin. Just a note, you might want to get rid of the dot if you put one on there. So like I said today, I think I'm not going to use the Sharpie marker, but I'll see how I feel at the end. I just want to try and get it dark enough that I don't have to use that Sharpie marker. So, sorry, one of my gray hairs is falling. Okay, so I'm gonna start actually, I'm gonna start with the gray and the brown. I feel like those are the two colors I need right now. So in here, this fella probably has a little bit of brown in here, and I'm gonna press very lightly at the start. If we need to make it darker, we can, but I'm just gonna press very lightly here at the start. And I'm just kind of gonna go in a circular motion, and then I'm gonna carry that out and until it's a little bit lighter. So just like that. He's fairly dark here at the nose, so I'm gonna put that in a little bit darker and color it in. He also has a shadow here underneath his mouth there. So I'm going to carry that over here like that. And then again, he has a shadow that comes out under here like that. And it's quite a distinct line. We want to leave this piece in here a little bit on the whiter side. There might be a little shadow in here. Here he's fairly shadowed in around his eye, so we're going to add that in, and that's going to go in here like that. And then he's got that piece over there. I feel like that piece over there needs to go more over this way. So it needs to go more over here. Like I said, I'm not perfect at this stuff either, you guys. So, so then we're gonna do just shade him in ever so lightly in here. In here is gonna be a little bit darker, so we can add that in. And then up here, he's almost got these little, I don't know, I think they're reflective pieces on him. So, and then it's pretty light in there in that area. So we're going to leave that alone. So next I'm going to go to the gray. Okay. And I'm going to add a little bit of gray here as well on top of that brown. And again, it's going to be darker on the outside edge. And then as I get more toward this inner piece, it's going to be a bit lighter, but it is going to be shaded somewhat. Okay. So just like that, and down in here, like that. And then we're also going to do his eye. His nose comes shaded right in here too. So, and then we're going to do his eye. So, with his eye color is going to be black. And their eyes are quite dark, you guys. They are quite dark. So I'm just gonna do the shape that I see here. I'm gonna leave a little spot of white for the reflection, but that's about it for the eye. He may have a bit of a shadow here, so I'll put a little shadow in here and then a little shadow over here as well for his eye, okay? So I think what we're going to do, I'm going to make it just a touch bit darker. I feel like it's just not quite dark enough. I'm going to add a little bit of blue. This is the Ultramarine blue. I'm going to add that in here as well. And you know, because dolphins are kind of bluish when you look at them in the wild. So we'll just add a little bit of that blue. And then, like I said, we can always darken up later if we need to. And in there. In that area there, and then down in here. And he's got a little white there too, but we'll worry about that after. And then he's going to be dark through here as well, a little bit darker. Okay, so we're going to see how that works. Just going to outline him a little bit more here. And then we're going to see how that looks, and we're going to go from there. So you can grab your watercolor pencil or your watercolor brush. I'm going to use my big brush. I believe it is a number 2 round. I think my other one is too, but it's thinner, I guess, at the edge. So I'm not really familiar with all the brushes. So here we're going to just start in the light area with the brush, and the less water you have, guys, on your brush, the more control you're going to have. So I'm just going to start in the lighter areas and along in here, just like that, and around his eye, just another little dab of water there. Around his eye in this area, and that area is going to kind of stay white, so I'm going to leave that one alone there. There we go. And this is just in shadow here over on this side, and then down in here as well. There's a little bit of white there too, but it's a lot lighter there. So I'm going to dab in a little bit more water. I'm going to carry this out to the front here like this, and then down and around these little curves that I've got here. So just like that. It's just a really soft little dolphin. And again, now I'm going to go into those darker areas and just kind of fade them out into his fur, or sorry, into his skin. I keep saying fur. He's not a furry. He's a fishy. So there you go, just like that. And then I'm going to blend them a little more around the eye area. There we go. And leave just that little jut of white there. And then we're going to come in, and I think we're going to darken up those shadows too underneath. This one might actually be a bit too dark here. So I'm going to try and blend that in a bit better in here. There we go. I don't know if I really did that, but that's okay. And I might even just add a tiny bit of color there too. Okay, and then this one we're going to blend that, and we will highlight or put those shadows in with the darker pencils too. So okay, so that is pretty good. I'm just going to go and do a little bit around his eye here. And just be really careful around there, you guys. And here too, because he's got that little shadow in there. And it pulls out a little bit. There we go. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to make the water in here. And I think what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to take my Ultramarine blue, and I'm just going to make, sorry, I'm moving my paper here. I'm just going to make these marks, these pencil marks that I did here. And it's sort of like an oval, and it's just around him. So, you know, and you know, feel free to color it in a little bit. And we're going to be using a few other little colors too. So, and then just at the bottom here, so we don't really want to see that pencil mark. And then we're going to take that brown, because he is, I made him that cocoa brown, and we want to carry that right down into the water where he is, because we want that reflection in there. So I'm going to pull that down, and down in here as well. I might actually darken up in here a little bit and just have that one little piece. And then down in here, basically we're going to use all the colors we used on him down in the water here. So I'm going to use the ultramarine blue as well in here, down in here. And it doesn't have to be in any particular order that you're doing these pencils, because they're going to go on top of each other anyway. And then we're probably going to add a little more shadow on the dolphin yet as well. But I'm just going to go in and color with these two colors for now, in like that. And then I'm going to actually go to my ocean blue, because it's kind of a turquoisey color, and it, you know, if sometimes the ocean has that turquoisey color on it, and it just gives it that really nice little sheen. So I'm going to add some of that in there too, and underneath him like that, and down here and around in there. And then I'm also going to go back in here. You don't want to press too hard doing this, you guys, because you don't want the line marks, okay? So just to give you a heads up, but I do want to indicate that there is some sort of water back in there. I may come in with the robin blue as well and just sort of go around in a few places with that, just to give it a little bit of movement, I guess you might call it. And then once we blend all these, we'll come back again with the darker colors and give it even a little bit more. So I'm just going to go around the dolphin really quick here, just so we can indicate that there's other colors back in there. And again, I might add some more of that other color, that ocean blue color in here, just ever so slightly. There we go. Okay, perfect. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the water. I'm just going to add a little more in there just to give it a little more shadow under there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the gray, because this fella has these gray marks in here, and I'm just going to sort of draw those in like this. And I think it's just a reflection off the water. So I feel like it's really super important that we put those in. This one kind of comes down like that. And this one, then there's another one that comes down here. This one here is quite brown, so I'm going to make that a little bit darker as well. A little bit browner, just to give it a bit of, and then in here we've got a few little areas in here too where he's got that darkness in here. So I'm going to add a little more brown in this area. And then again, I might, and he kind of has that, you know, the skin sort of goes out a little bit. And so I'm going to drag that one down. He's quite white up in there. I'm going to leave that alone for now. And then this is a definite little line in here. And then we're going to go in and we are going to, we're going to do the mouth of the dolphin here. So I'm just going to take my black and outline like that. And I might have to make that a little darker. And also I'm going to take my purple, because purple is a really good shadow color. And I'm just going to go along in here, because I feel like this is really in shadow, this part of his self, like this. And that way it gives us a little more shadow color. I'm going to go right to the edge there so I can try and get rid of that pencil line. This is going to go right out like that. And his nose is going to be a bit darker too, everybody. He's got a shadow here that's being cast from the skin right there. So I will put that in. And then he's got a couple of little wrinkles in here too. So we'll put that in too. And then again, the reflection of the water. So I'll add a little bit of that aqua color right at the base, because we've got a reflection of that water too. So, and then a little bit darker in there. And I'm going to go up and I'm going to add a little bit. Actually, I'm going to use the brown. I think the black is going to be too much. I might use the darker brown. Or actually, I'll use the gray, the charcoal gray in here, because I feel like that needs to be a bit darker there, like that. And a little bit more here too, like that. And then he's got this little crease that comes there. as well as that. And then there's a few little marks in here too on his eye. There's one that comes right here, one that comes there, one that comes up and around and there, okay? So now I'm gonna do the watercolor on, I'm gonna add the paintbrush to the rest here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit, I'm gonna go around his body first here. There we go, because it's gonna splash up a little bit, so don't feel like it has to be completely even here, guys, okay? And it just around there gives that purple a little bit of shadow in there. And then we're gonna go around with that with darker colors too in a minute. There we go. And I feel like I need to add a bit more brown here. So I'm just gonna make that a little darker, just so we know we have him in there. And same with here. Okay, and then we're just gonna take our brush and we're just gonna go and, you know, you can use any sort of haphazardy type of stroke here. You know, I don't want it to be the same everywhere. You kind of want it to sort of look like water a little bit, so you might want to kind of use a bit of a banana stroke, I guess. And like I said, we're going to go and we're going to add in some darker lines there too. But again, this purple in here adds a really nice little shadow in there. And then we're going to go at the top here and go around. You can use a little more water in here if you like, just to indicate distant water, and it always gets lighter toward the background. So we'll indicate to everyone that he is, you know, just having fun. And, you know, you've gone out in boats and you run into these dolphins and they completely jump by your boat, and it's absolutely incredible. And these things are so fun, and they have so much fun when they're doing this, and they're really quite a sight to behold. There we go. All right, so there's our little water scene almost done now in there. And then we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go in and add some darker values in there. But now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna actually use my lighter, or my smaller round brush. I'm gonna call it a number 1 because it is the first brush. And I'm just gonna go in and darken up this piece a little bit in there. And just follow along where those lines are. And I'm actually, if you dip your brush in the water and then roll it against the side of the jar or what container or whatever it is you have, and that way you get kind of a nice thin little line. There we go. There is his mouth. And I'm going to go in here and do that again in here. And I'm going to just do that. And then he's got that shadow underneath there, just like that. And he's got these little lines in here. And then he's got these ones. And the reflection, the little white spots on the top are good. They worked out really well. And then again, I think I'm just gonna add a little bit more color in here because I don't want them to be too white in here. There we go. That's looking pretty darn good, I'd say. There we go. And then that eye again, just in here, might make that pupil a little smaller there, the reflection a little smaller there, because their eyes are kind of that ovally shape. There we go. A line there, maybe a line there too, just like that and like that. He's looking pretty good, folks. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in here. It's a little bit drier now, and I'm just going to take my ultramarine blue, and I'm just going to go and make a few little extra lines here. that are sort of like water lines, I guess. Just over top there. Make it look like a few waves in there and whatnot. And you can use, you know, you can dip your pen right in the water too to do this if you'd like. So there we go. That's the effect of the pen in the water. Dip it in again there. And then I'll go through with some of the other ones too. They're so fun to do, these little tiny sketches. Okay, and then I'm actually gonna add a little more shade here while I've got that color in my hand, just for a little extra shading there, and in here too. And then I'm going to take my ocean blue, which is this one here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. And I'm just gonna go around again and make another color here. And then we can go over it with the brush too if you want. But I definitely want that color of the dolphin reflected in the water. So I may grab that brown again. I may even grab a little bit of the black. There you go. That works a little bit better. Just to let you know that there is a reflection here of that dolphin in the water. And we might even go a little darker there. And down in here. And I mean, it's going to be wavy, so, you know, it might not be all in the same direction, or, you know, the light might be over here a little bit more, over here a little more. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty good. He's looking good. Now I am going to grab my I am going to grab my Ultramarine blue, and I'm going to take my small brush. I actually might just dab in a little bit of these too, just to bring them around a touch and right up against his body there, like that. And then I'm going to grab that brush and I'm just going to put it on the end. And again, I'm just going to come in here and make little soft waves. Just like that. This guy looks really cute. I'm really happy with how he's turned out. There we go. And just in here, just to add a little more, and maybe back in here too. Just to add a little bit of wavy water back in here. There you go. Again, I just love doing these guys, and I hope you guys do too. And, you know, don't feel like you have to use the same colors as me. If you have a different vision than I do, you have the license to do whatever it is you like. So please feel free to do whatever you like here. There we go. Just add that little extra color in the background. There we go. He's looking pretty good. He is looking darn good. All right, so with that, you guys, I think we're gonna call her a day. I'm just gonna go in here and do this. Now, if you wanna outline him in the, with the marker, feel free to do that. That is more than okay. I am not going to do that today. I feel like the pencil marks are enough. So I think with that, I think that is our painting. So please do sign your work. It's a really good habit to get into, because, you know, when you're a famous artist someday, people are going to know who did your work, or who painted that art piece. So you guys need to start signing your work. It's really super duper important. And you know me, I always like doing my little hearts. So I'm going to do that. My little heart there. And I'm going to grab my crimson red. And I'm going to dip it in some water, and then I'm going to add my little heart. And there is our dolphin journal entry. And you know what? You guys can write whatever you want on there. For myself, I would probably just write fun, 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 water baby. You know, he's beautiful. He worked out lovely. I hope you guys like him. And if you have any comments or if you have any suggestions on what you would like me to paint, please feel free to share that with me. Okay, and with that being said, it's Sherry signing off from Sherry's Painting. Again, please like and subscribe if you're liking what I put up here, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me. Okay, bye.